class is done. Now it's time for, I think, just back. I think I'm going to start taking shoulders out of the equation. At least not have them, like, built right into the routine. Just because they're kind of fucking blowing up. I want to save that growth for my lats, my pecs, my buys. I don't want my shoulders to get too big. At least not in relation with everything else. So, if you've got some kind of muscle which, just for whatever reason, it's blowing up to the point where it's a little bit, out of proportion, then go easy on it. Everybody, look, you got to get big for sure. But let's say your fucking triceps are massive, but your buys are slacking. Like, come on, man. Maybe chill off on the push downs and start curling a little bit heavier. But for the most part, yes, that's kind of a rare occurrence. Just by lifting, everything will kind of grow pretty much in proportion. I don't know if you're going to get too much benefit from, like, really biasing something. Like, let's say your chest is a bit underdeveloped compared to your back, and you're still kind of a beginner. I think just hit them both on a normal basis. It'll start to balance out. But getting back to the actual training itself with back, yeah, I think just in general too. I've been overcomplicating this shit in my head for the last couple weeks. I've been thinking about, like, well, what's the best way to, have this. Dude, fucking. You miss the forest by staring at a tree. What I'm really trying to say is, if you do your hard ass sets, like, let's say, heavy rows, heavy pull downs, and some pullovers, get a crazy squeeze, I think that's a solid back day. Chest, heavy bench, heavy machine press, cable flies, big pump. That's a good chest day. So I think getting real deep into, like, what's the perfect exercise order, and don't fucking waste your energy. Like, stick to the basics: rows, pull downs, bench, whatever. But I'm much more concerned with the intensity that you actually bring to your sets than I am necessarily your reasoning behind doing specific sets and specific whatevers. Because if a guy pushes himself twice as hard, just doing an arm day where he just does a couple kinds of push downs and overhead tricep extensions and then a couple kinds of curls, he's gonna do, or well, he's gonna get way better fucking results than some dude who's training half as hard as him, but, like, he's got the perfect exercise order. It's don't don't forget, go hard, get a pump, come back and eat your food. You're good. You are good. So I think today's back day is gonna be, what is it gonna be? I don't know. I'll see. I've got a couple different kinds of rows that I could do, pull downs, pullovers. You're never gonna catch me doing shrugs just because, same thing with shoulders. My traps are pretty much, yeah. My traps are pretty much solidified, man. Unless your traps are really, like, noticeably behind, then I think just by doing rowing movements, you're getting enough trap activation. You know, I think if I were to do dedicated sets of, like, heavy shrugs at the end of every back day, then my traps would be, I think they'd be a little bit too developed. A little bit too developed in relation with everything else. So, rows, pull downs, pullovers, and a little bit of calves at the end, but that'll be it. So now that I'm taking side delts out of the routine, my back, well, side and rear delts out of the routine, my back and chest days are going to be fucking quick. Once I actually get warmed up and get started, I think this back day, fuck, it could be done in like 20 something minutes. Obviously, calves is going to take a little longer. Plus, I'm going to be in there chatting for who knows how long after I actually finish my working sets. But, yeah, doing enough sets to get a solid pump, as well as, fully stimulate your lats, traps, whatever, I don't think you need to be in there for an hour and a half. I'm not going to say that's not going to work. I mean, fuck. When I was more of a beginner lifter, for whatever reason, somehow I got the idea, like watching videos or whatever, that each lift should have 25 working sets per body part. So when I was doing back and buys at the time, that would mean I was doing 25 sets of back. Holy fuck. 25 sets of back and then 25 sets of curls. I was in there for fucking hours upon hours. But still gave me results. I think I was just taking advantage of newbie gains at the time. I'm sure I would have got the same results, if not potentially a little bit better, by doing more intense sets with lower volume. But I think that just kind of goes to show, you can pick whatever routine, whatever you think's best, assuming you're reasonably informed. As long as you go hard, you're good. So don't stress too much about, like, oh, should I change my routine? Okay, I've been doing it for a month. I think I should probably change it up to, dude, no, fucking does not matter. Well, it does matter, but if you can really just kind of focus on, like, trying to up your intensity each lift, like if at the end of each lift reflectively you think, all right, I could have gone a little bit harder on those last two sets. The other ones were pretty good though. I know I pushed myself. I think that's the fucking reflecting that you should be doing. And then obviously for the next lift, think to yourself, all right, I'm gonna go fucking crazy on this one. I am gonna push it to the freaking limit on this set of, insert whatever, barbell rows, fucking this, that, or the other. But I'm gonna fucking pull in, park, and get started. So let's see what this back day has to offer. So I could sit here, do half the stack, real slow, controlled reps, really squeeze it hard. But no, that's just not how I want to start the lift off. I want to throw around as much weight as I can, or at least as much weight as, at my disposal for as many as I can do. But with rows, I mean, this is definitely a movement where you're going to be able to get some partials out. I mean, fuck it. If I really, I could sit here and do probably 10 partials where I can just barely even move, even just a little bit. So I will have to kind of call it somewhere, but I'll make sure I get a good step. Okay. Let's do one more like that and then move on. Let's go do some machine rows next. Oh, fuck. So, those were definitely, brutish cable row sets. I wasn't, well, of course I was trying to squeeze when I got to the top of the rep, but I was really just focusing on moving as much weight around as I could. But with this machine, the weight is a bit lighter, so I'm really going to focus on holding it, even for just a moment, for the first few reps when I'm strong, and then obviously just trying to burn out until I can't get, I'm still going to be able to get kind of an infinite number of partials, but I'm going to go hard. You get the idea. Let's do one more like that. I think today's back day is going to be a little bit more rowing biased. Fuck. Okay. Let's oh, I know, it's pull downs. Assisted pull downs will be perfect next. All right, get ready to help me, player. All right, so I'll have a certified 700. I'm trying to talk to the audience. But what I was about to say was I'm going to have a certified 700-pound squatter give me some assistance on these. So
I'll try not to mess it up.
first couple reps when I'm strong, you know, I can get it to chin height. But he can tell once I can't get that low, he's going to give me a little inch of assistance. But, you know, whatever, just go hard.
Come on. Get it. Come on. Keep it going. Nope. 3 more. Come on. Come on.
Okay, that's good. Oh, 5. It's perfect. Okay, I think this is going to be the last set. Honestly, even though I did 4 sets of rows, that machine row, I was really getting like almost all lats, not that much trap activation. So I feel like my lower back, especially my really low lats on those assisted pull downs, has been fully hit. So now I'm going to go wide grip and I'm going to flare my elbows upward. You know, usually with a regular row, I've got my elbows down here. But with this one, since I'm trying to hit more upper back, more mid traps, and everything else fancy going on in there, I'm going to flare my elbows out and try to touch my elbows behind my back. Well, behind my upper back. But after this back is done. Okay. All right. Back is done. Let's go check the pump and yeah, fuck, then roll. So that was a little bit longer than last back day, 6 sets, but it was about as many as I felt like I wanted to do to get, you know, let's call it adequate stimulation combined with a solid ass fucking pump. So let's just see how wide these fucking wings have gotten. Now, when it comes to like a rowing focus day or a pull down focus day, I don't think you should necessarily have one programmed into the routine. I think just change up every back day. You know, sometimes I do more pull downs, sometimes I do more rows. Just adds to the variability of your training. But let's run through some mandatories. I love the cutoffs. I cut this one just a little too shallow in the front. Ugh. Oh. All right, you tell me if those aren't some fucking lats. Oh, goodness. All right, back lat spread, back double by, and then back in the car. Ugh. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. That's a pump if I've ever fucking had one. And honestly, at this point, let's see, if I've been lifting for fucking a little more than 5 years, I've had, what, 1,500 pumps? If not more. I think I've got a solid grading scale on them. But let's just fucking get out of here, man. Back done in a very efficient manner. But let's get in the car. Let's roll. All right, so I do not recall if I said I was going to do calves or not, but I did freaking not. I can still kind of feel them a little bit. Rule of thumb with calves, if they're not sore, do 6 good sets of your choice. You know, of your choice, man. You could do the seated calf raise. You could do the standing calf raise. You could do the leg press, and then you just put your feet on the bottom of the pad and do calf raises like that. I mean, there's a couple ways to go about it, whichever one feels best for you. Spam it. Freaking spam it, you know? You're not going to grow if you don't train a specific muscle. So by that logic, don't complain about having small calves if you don't train them on a consistent basis. More than likely, if you do have small calves, you probably wish you had bigger ones. So I think the situation is clear. You know, in any facet of your daily routine, the better you are at objectively looking at a situation, realizing what the best move is, and just executing it, the better. You know, and it's not like I'm all knowing and I'm giving that advice to you. I'm kind of saying that to myself as well. You know, let's think about this scenario. Exam in one day, material unstudied, and I have the choice between either, you know, looking at the PowerPoint slides and doing practice problems, or starting season 3 of The Sopranos. I think there is an objective choice, which is correct, and I think I have a little bit of difficulties making and sticking to that choice. I do not have an exam tomorrow. That's just a hypothetical, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. But no, so that back day was legit. Yeah, fuck. No need to overcomplicate it. I feel like I started to take the science-based lifter pill. I was like, oh, well, what movement is going to better activate my... Come on. Get real. Get fucking real. Heavy rows, hard squeezing rows, pull downs. You know, just fucking try to push it to the limit as hard as you can. Get a crazy pump and go home. You know, you don't even have to have a baller-ass routine. I think that's another thing that kind of acts as a... let's just call it a barrier of entry to some people at the gym. You know, the fact that anybody who's anybody is always talking about like their specific workouts or their routine and their split. You know, so if you're a total noob to the gym and you don't know what you're doing and you don't have like a workout routine written out, or maybe you've just never even done one, yeah, I could see how it could be a little bit intimidating to just go into a space which you're not even comfortable with and like feel like you have no idea what you're doing. You know, so if that's you, if you've never done this shit before, just fucking go in there, man. Pick a day. Honestly, back day is a pretty easy lift to start with, just because you don't have to really worry about balancing You don't have to worry about too much form. Like, for the most part, keep your back straight. Try not to arch too much. But row machines, pull downs, pretty much all you do is you sit there and you just fucking lift the weight. So if you've never done a back day before, fuck man, just go in there, sit on the cable row or the machine row and try some shit out. Right? If you've watched a bunch of workout videos, or if you've watched a bunch of these lifts, honestly, I mean, just emulate it. I'm not saying just copy the shit that I'm doing. Honestly, anybody that you like watching, maybe just if you don't have that good of a memory, just fucking write out the workout that they did and just copy it, man. Just freaking copy it. Monkey see, monkey do. That's how we learn all sorts of shit. But yeah, I, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to do. Well, I know that today I didn't want to do any bent over barbell rows, but I don't know if I want to put them back in the routine. Honestly, I think in a bodybuilding context, I'm sort of following the same logic on why I don't do deadlifts. Deadlifts, obviously you're working your traps, obviously you're working your lats, but you also get a ton of lower back, ton of glute, ton of hamstring activation, which I'm not here to hit my whole posterior chain. I walked into the gym tonight to do back, lats, mid back, traps, teres major, all sorts of that shit. I don't need to be spamming my lower back. I want big lats. I want to be wide up top and have a thick mid back. Unless you're training for strength or I guess functionality too, but let's say mainly for strength, doing stuff like deadlifts, you kind of do it for its own sake. I'm not going to say it's not going to help you build a big back, but I kind of think that if you spend the amount of energy that you would spend on like even just 2 sets of really heavy deadlifts, if you spend all that energy on, pull downs and machine rows, I think you're going to get some better, let's say some better, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? Stimulation. There we go. That's my thought process there. But yeah, back day done. Tomorrow's going to be arms. Cardio in the morning, of course. Bulking, cutting, maintaining, 30 minutes of cardio. I know that you're not doing it. Oh, fuck. Almost hit a guy walking on the crosswalk. Whoops. But, yeah, so I know you're not doing your cardio. You totally should, man. You totally freaking should. I feel like I lay out the benefits every time I bring it up, but they're fucking worth mentioning. Better endurance, so you're going to be able to go harder in the gym, do harder sets without being so out of breath. In a bulking context, of course, you're not going to get so fat. You're not going to put on so much body fat, because you'll be a more efficient machine. Your daily caloric necessities will be higher, so you'll be able to eat more food. Dieting down, well, I guess that's a situation when everybody knows cardio is good. It's going to help you burn body fat when you're in a calorie deficit. But none of those benefits will be yours because you're too fucking lazy to get onto the cardio bike. That's not necessarily true in all cases. It is kind of difficult to add cardio into your daily routine, especially if you gotta fucking go to work in the morning. Going to the gym to do your cardio in the morning, even though it's only 30 minutes of cardio, when you add a drive and everything else like that, and then you probably got to come back and shower. You don't want to go to work sweaty. That could be a whole hour of time. So I know it's a chunk, but fuck, man, just put a fucking cardio bike in your basement. Put one in the garage. I've got a treadmill in the basement, and at my house I've got a little machine bike. So I know that going to the gym in the morning to do the cardio is a bit of a hassle. So $100 on Craigslist saves you the hassle, saves you the fucking trouble. More likely than not, you've probably got a treadmill in your basement or your parents' basement, and it's just covering dust or clothes are hanging off of it. Treadmill works too, man. Treadmill, Stairmaster, bike. Just fucking go on a walk, do a little jog if that's what you're into. just anything to raise your heart rate to, I don't know what level. When I do my cardio, my heart rate gets up to about 150. And that's where I maintain it for the full 30 minutes. But, you don't even have to get so specific as that. If doing some kind of activity can, let you break a sweat and you do it for fucking 30-ish minutes, then fuck, man. Shooting some hoops, playing ball, that counts. Doing whatever. When you guys say, I play an hour of soccer a day for school, does that count as cardio? You're goddamn right it counts as cardio. But, for the most part, I know you guys aren't doing it. But enough of that little rant. What am I going to eat when I get home? A ribeye, instant rice, some American cheese slices mixed into those rice, and then, more likely than not, a full hostile jug of, how the fuck am I forgetting? There we go. Blueberry lemonade Silo 9 with some amino acids, and what I really like is the electrolytes. You could sip on a gallon of fucking water a day, but, I'm not kidding. If you don't get electrolytes into that mix, I'm not going to say you're wasting your time. Obviously, it's going to be good for you to get that many fluids in your body, or that much fluids in your system, but what you're really after is the electrolytes. That's how all your fucking, for the most part, that's how all your bodily functions function. Your muscles firing, that's like some potassium ion transfer based shit. Same thing with your fucking brain. And a much more tangible benefit is you're not going to get fucking headaches. I haven't had a headache in fucking years because I've always got either like an empty gallon milk jug, which I've cleaned out, or a hostile jug. I think those are out of stock. Those are fucking cool though. Super thick. Or whatever. Some kind of big ass jug. I know it's kind of frowned upon by the general public to carry that gallon of water around. But you got to be based enough to not give a fuck. The only thing that's going to benefit you is or no, let me restate that statement. You're only going to benefit from carrying it around. So, if you're worried about what other people think, just in general, man, that's your own beef. You got to get over that. You got to freaking get over that. Yeesh. So, that's pretty much all I got to say. Fucking sweaty. If you were here for either the last car talk or the one before, when I brought up all that dirty laundry I have, yeah, the only progress that has been made is adding to its fucking size. Oh my goodness. I'm so fucking lazy. I'll deal with that. I was about to say I'll deal with that tonight, but I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to fucking lie straight to your face. So, yeah, I think that's all I got. Home, food, sleep, cardio in the morning, and then train later tomorrow. The perfect routine for lifters of any age and any experience. So, hopefully you can get on that grind and hop on the train, never get off. But if you're not, but you're taking steps to get there, then good for you. As a beginner, it might even be a struggle just to get into the gym. But, fuck. Sometimes when I'm in there after my lift, I feel like it's a struggle to leave. Which, in a progress-based context, I do not consider that a problem at all. But, yeah, that's enough for me, man. Get to sleep, do your lift, get some food, wake up, go do your cardio. Whichever one of those statements fits your situation right now as you're watching it. Fucking get after it. So, I will see you tomorrow for arms.